Around the world, the left is having the most amazing dummy spit over the election of Donald Trump. Thousands of protesters have marched in New York, in Chicago, in Seattle, in California, protesting against this democratic election of Trump as their president. And thousands have also shown their now typical crudity and intolerance. Celebrities are also in uproar. You've really got to laugh. I mean, Lady Gaga protested very prettily in New York, and even minor Australian celebrities are claiming that they're now scared of this allegedly racist Trump regime.
How do you personally feel being in that country now as a Muslim, knowing who they've just elected?
You know, if I'm forced to think about it that way, it's an incredibly confronting thing.
That's the left for you, all right. Once again, putting themselves above the majority, telling the majority, the public, that it can't have what it has freely chosen. And there it goes again, bullying people, insulting people, celebrities lording it over them. And that's exactly what triggered the Trump revolution. Trump's win was, above all, the silent majority rising up against this horrible tribe of sanctimonious finger-waggers. But there's the left on the streets, wailing on the TV, proving exactly why Trump did win. But it's not just the left that hasn't learned the lessons of Trump's astonishing win. Most importantly for us, nor has our own Prime Minister. Malcom Turnball, leader of our supposedly conservative party, should have welcomed Trump's victory over the left's Hillary Clinton. Instead, he reacted on the night as if something terrible had happened. A war, maybe, and he had to calm a terrified nation using his best Winston Churchill delivery.
This is a historic moment. It has been a long campaign. It is one that Australians have witnessed with awe, with consternation, indeed, from time to time. But let me reassure all Australians that the ties that bind Australia and then the United States are profound, they are strong, they are based on our enduring national interests.
For heaven's sake. I mean, a real leader of a Liberal Party, a real Conservative, would not have sounded like he was at a funeral.
Politicians and governments, congressmen, senators, prime ministers and cabinets will come and go according to the will of the people of Australia and the United States.
A real Conservative Prime Minister would have said, "What a great result! That Trump, and here's the lesson." He would have said, "This is what happens when you go down that Labor way, that bullying, that abusing, that exaggerating, and the left's attacks on working class jobs, destroying them." A real Conservative Prime Minister would have used Trump's win not to tell the public, "Don't panic," but take heart, join me, join my campaigns for the same sort of things that Trump was fighting for. I'll give you two examples. Donald Trump rejects laws that restrict free speech, laws that seem to be used mainly by the left to shut up their opponents.
I am going to work very hard to repeal that language and to protect free speech for all Americans.
So why didn't Turnbull say, "Me too, I'll scrap laws just like that. I will scrap the wicked Racial Discrimination Act that has been used to attack the free speech, even of Queensland University students, and the Australians' Bill League, just for drawing a cartoon." Second example. Donald Trump has called the great global warming scare a hoax. And he promises to reject the Paris Agreement to cut emissions because he says it just costs jobs without doing any real good.
Global warming is not our biggest problem, folks. Believe me. Do you ever notice they have global warming, they have extreme weather, they've named it so many different times. Now I hear they call it extreme weather a little bit more, but they've changed the names so often, right? So often. They just weren't working.
We're going to save the coal industry. We're going to save that coal industry. Believe me, we're going to save it. I love those people. These are great people. We're going to cancel the Paris Climate Agreement and stop. Unbelievable. And stop all payments of the United States tax dollars to UN global warming programs.
But what does Malcom Turnball do today, the very day after Trump's win? He doesn't say me too. The opposite. He actually boasts that he has signed Australia up today to exactly that Paris deal on global warming, and is even sending 2 ministers to the next big climate talks in Marrakesh.
My government is committed to meeting its international obligations under the Paris Agreement.
Is he kidding? I mean, he's pushing along this scare. He is promoting the kind of anti-coal policies that this month helped to cost Victoria's biggest coal-fired power station and cost 750 workers their jobs. And he's pushing the global warming scare that had South Australia blow up the last of its coal-fired power stations. And, of course, he left that left the state there in total blackout after a storm knocked out many of its wind farms. And is going along with it. The Trump revolution. Malcom Turnball just doesn't get it. And so, I conclude, I don't think he can last.